Hello, just Jem here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. I know that the next Nomad Cosmetics palette I'm supposed to be filming with is Fuji 5 Lakes, but it's Christmas and I recently got the Polar Express palette from Nomad and I just wanted to do a festive look focusing on a festive palette, so that's what I'm going to do. Fuji 5 Lakes is coming, it is coming, but I wanted to do this one first. And here is the inside of the palette, which I'm sure by now you will be incredibly familiar with. Lots of blue tones in there, and then it shifts over to some warmer sort of browns, reds and golds. I have already swatched this palette. I think I've mentioned before, before I used to kind of keep it as a bit of a surprise and just put shades on my eyelids and see what happened. But it can be tricky sometimes when you don't know the texture of a shade, so you have no idea if it's going to be a topper or if it's going to have some opacity to it. So I've decided that going forward I am going to swatch the shades in advance, just so I know what I'm working with. Does it take some of the fun and the mystery out? Yes, but I think it just makes it easier for me. I'm more informed and I'm better prepared, and I think it will help just demonstrate the shades a bit better for you guys as well. So I'm going to show you the swatches on my arm, and then I'm going to go into two looks like I normally do, one on each eye, and let you know what I think about the Nomad Cosmetics Polar Express palette. Here are the swatches. Here are all 15 shades of the Nomad Cosmetics Polar Express palette. I really like how it goes from super cool toned to warm toned at the end. As well as being festive, it's also got a bit of a fire and ice vibe to it. I think the palette it reminded me of, that it was driving me mad that I couldn't remember, is the Star Wars palette, and clearly I'm going to find a picture so I can show it to you, so you can see why it reminds me so much of that Star Wars palette from Colourpop. There is definitely another palette or collection it reminds me of, but I've racked my brain ever since I saw the footage and I cannot think what that palette is. And that's just with my flash running over the shades there. Okay, so I'm armed now with the swatches still on my arm, and I mean, it is very much a palette of two halves. It's, you know, your cool into your warm. So I could do something very neutral to warm, and then something particularly icy. I do have my NYX glitter primer. I normally like to see how shimmers perform without it. I suspect there are a few shimmers in here that are a bit on the sheerer side that might benefit from my NYX glitter primer. I feel like I want to use Polar Express. Trust me to zone in on the one purpley shade in there. I also want to use Believe. All Aboard and Silver Bell would make excellent inner corner highlights, as would Mr. C actually, depending on what I put on my lid. There's a lot of choice. Let me start with warm neutral side, because I think that's got less thought involved. I can do something easily, I think, with that half. I'm going to start with Hot Cocoa. So I'm going to start off by going into Hot Cocoa, which is that shade over there. And then I'm thinking that I might deepen it up with Dark Forest. And then for the shimmers, maybe I'll add Christmas Carol and Believe. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Let's try that. Hot Cocoa, Dark Forest, Christmas Carol and Believe. And also, let me know if you think this is close enough. Like I mentioned it before, I don't want to zoom you in so much that I'm looking down and you're just looking at my forehead, but I think this is a good good amount of zoom, not too close and not too, yeah. But let me know. Hot Cocoa Refa number 1. So I was conscious that we were quite far into the festive period, and the only dedicated festive palette that I have dipped into so far is Cosmic's 'Tis the Season. And at the risk of looking like I'm a channel sponsored by Nomad and Cosmic, I'm doing yet another video with Nomad Cosmetics, but I just really like both of the brands, and I was tempted to dig out Merry Christmas from Odin's Eye, and it may be that I just do that in another video around Christmas. There's still a bit of time, but there's just so many palettes that I've got that I'm working through that I want to show you guys, really. Some that are new to me and some that aren't. So, well, I think they're all new to me, but they're familiar brands now at this point. So that's Hot Cocoa, and it definitely has like a reddy burgundy undertone to it. Let me get my Refa 14 now, and we're going to go into Dark Forest, and we will see how much that deepens things up. Bit of kick up in the pans here for the mattes that I've used so far. Like, there's 2 of them, Hot Cocoa, and now I'm on to Dark Forest. So yeah, bit of kick up in the pans, but they're quite smooth. I didn't notice any shades that I thought were particularly dry or anything like that. If you've gleaned anything about me by now, is that I like palettes with a bit more depth for somewhat obvious reasons. So for me, if I was designing this, I wouldn't have nougat candy. I'd probably shift this up and then this up, and then I'd have like a really deep brown down at the bottom here, like even deeper than Dark Forest is. But Dark Forest it's pretty deep, but could have something deeper. I wouldn't put a black in this palette. I don't think this palette calls for a black, but maybe a brown that almost looks black could be cool. Effortless blend there, and it has deepened things up. But yeah, I would just want to scotch deeper, just a scotch. But I'm not mad at Dark Forest, I do quite like that shade. So I did say I was going to leave the red shades. I am going to leave the red shades because I've done a lot of red lately. So let's lean into the neutral tones. Or did I say I was going to use Believe? No, I'm going to use Christmas Carol and First Gift. That's what I'm going to use. So the gold here, Christmas Carol, and then First Gift. So Christmas Carol on the edge, and then First Gift towards the inside. I think these would be okay without the glitter primer, but I'm going to put some on anyway. As I say, I'm pretty sure that these would perform well without, but I just want to go in with the primer first. Just from looking at the swatches on my arm, which I can't show you properly from this angle, but I think they would pop. But we're just going to give them a bit of an extra helping hand straight off, because why not? Refa number 1 into Christmas Carol. Just more oomph there. I'm curious just to see if I pick it up on a finger. Yeah, see, I think that would have popped even without. Cleaning that off, flipping it over, Christmas Gift. I don't know how this is gonna look, but we'll see. It's quite nice actually. It leans more cool, so I wasn't sure how it would look right next to Christmas Carol, but that's quite pretty. I like that. Yeah, simple. I like it. What would I do? Oh, maybe I could do Believe on the under eye. Sometimes I forget about the under eye when I'm focusing on the lid. But let's make a start on the super cool side first. And I'm thinking I'm just going to go fully blue, a blue gradient, work my way down this blue column, start with North Pole, then Desert of Ice, Frozen Sea, and then on the lid maybe a bit of Silver Bells and Polar Express with this All Aboard on the inner corner. Oh yeah, yeah, I'm liking the sound of that. Pigment off my Refa number 1, and we'll start with North Pole. Fair bit of kick up in that. Very curious to see how this is going to appear on my skin tone. Okay, true to colour. Like I've mentioned before, sometimes when I get really light shades like this, I just get ashiness effectively. Oh wow, that was a lot. Okay. This is going to end up being very winged out. That wasn't intentional. But I went in quite heavy-handedly on that second application, so just to blend it out, I've taken it quite far. But that's okay. That's okay. Refa 13, I think, and let's see how different, or potentially not, Desert of Ice looks just underneath that. Okay. Yep, I see that. In fact, I almost think I want that too. I might blend that a bit higher so that North Pole just peeks over. My Refa 14, and I'm gonna go into Frozen Sea, and that's gonna go more in this outer V area. I'm trying to be as delicate as I can here, because obviously Frozen Sea is quite a deep blue and I don't want to lose the two blues I've just put on, but I am going to concentrate it just on the edge and not carry it in quite so much. I should say I started with my eyes primed with the Be Perfect priming base, and I do already have foundation on but nothing else. Normally I like to put on my concealer once I've done my eyeshadow, because I can use my concealer to help tidy things up if necessary, which I think I may need to on this blue side. It's quite blown out, perhaps more so than I'd intended, but I don't mind it. Okay, I think you can distinctly see all three shades there. I don't want to overblend. I want you to be able to see all three. NYX glitter primer time. I do feel like the blue shades in here would benefit more from the NYX primer. I think the only one that would probably do just fine on its own and with like a finger application would be Silver Bells, but I think the rest of the shimmers on the icy side would benefit from the NYX Glitter Primer. And that's just from my experience with Nomad shimmers so far. Just dumped it all over my eyelashes. That's going to make putting mascara on fun later. Let me see. So what did I say? I said Polar Express and Silver Bells, didn't I? Refa number 1. I think I'm going to have to buy backups of these Refa brushes because I'm notoriously bad at cleaning my brushes. If I had a backup, I mean, that might possibly make me even lazier, but I just feel like I could do with another set, and I know that there's a sale on at the moment, so it would be a good time. Polar Express on the outside. That's pretty. I do like that. Just because I'm curious, use my finger. Yeah, that's good with the finger too. Wiping off that pigment, flipping it over, Silver Bells inside. I'm just picking up the 14 that I used just to soften that edge a bit. I haven't added on any additional pigment, it's just whatever's left on my 14. I'm going to add concealer, and that will help me tidy up this edge a little bit. Just tidy things up in general, and then we'll come back so I can do the under eyes. I have concealed and I've put some powder on, and now put some powder on the palette as well. It's time for the under eyes. I'm still debating, do I want to put red on this side, or do I even put red on this side? Mix the sides, get a bit of fire and ice on the one eye. I think I will go red on this side. I'll keep this blue. I will keep it monochromatic, but I think I do want to go fiery on this side. So with Believe, because it's a shimmer and I want it to stick, I'm going to go with that first. And I'm going in with my Refa number 3, so so this is a detail pencil brush. And let's see. I may have benefited from wetting that. I just kind of poked myself in the eye. Maybe the moisture from doing that will help. I definitely think going in with a red under eye on this side was in fact the correct choice. I think because the browns on here are so warm toned, it's going to go really well with Believe and Santa's Helpers. And I should probably show you these two shades. So Believe, the shimmer, Santa's Helpers. I also love the embossings on this. That's something that Nomad do that I think is just really cute. I do really enjoy the embossings. And I know obviously with over time they're going to fade, but I just think it's a really nice, cute enhancement that Nomad palettes have. And then for the inner corner pop, I think it's going to have to be Mr. C on this side, isn't it? Mr. C. There's Mr. C in the middle there. Nice little inner corner pop. And then other side, I don't think I want a shimmer on the other side for here. I think I'm just going to go in with Frozen Sea and blend that out with Desert of Ice. So Frozen Sea, Desert of Ice. And then inner corner on this side is going to be All Aboard. Now this, I'll be interested to see how this works as an inner corner because it is slightly more toppery, but I think it could work. I'm going to finish off my face now properly. Mascara, liner, blush, lippy, all the rest of that jazz, and I shall be back. I have finished everything off and I've zoomed you right in so that you can see both eyes. Here is the fiery, warm tone side with a very slight pop of cool towards the inside. Ooh. And here is the more monochromatic, icy blue side. Very blown out. This side's always very blown out. This is why I tend to do the tape trick, especially if I do the same look on both eyes, because they never match. Never match. Very blown out. But I think it works. It works. Warm side, more neutral warm, cool, blown out, monochromatic, icy blue side. Do you have a favourite? Do let me know in the comments. What do I have on my face? It's the same thing that I've been using for the last few videos really, because I'm just really enjoying them or testing them out. Glow bronzer from Revolution, Splendor Ultra Matte Bronzer in the shade Dark, and that's what it looks like on the inside, and it's really nice. I'm really liking that. This might be, I might use this as like a Project Pan item. Trigwell Cosmetics Sunset Sally blush today, and that's what that looks like. Lord knows where I've put the eyeliner, but as per usual it's the Clinique Easy Liner, and I think I'm going to have to buy a replacement for that because it's starting to get a bit dry. And the Rimmel Thrill Seeker, so that's a Rimmel Thrill Seeker. Using this e.l.f. brow gel at the moment, and I'm quite liking that, so testing that out more, but so far so good. MAC Persistence, I misplaced that for the longest time and then I found it in a handbag that I hadn't used for a while. 89 Fine Liner, that's my go-to at the moment, and that's the Clinique Easy Peasy Liner. So that's everything I've used on my face, as well as some setting powder, I think a mixture of Trigwell and Laura Mercier. And that's everything. Should we give my face a spritz? You know, I'm only going to go downstairs to eat my dinner and watch some YouTube videos. Let's just get that to meld together. So, Nomad, Polar Express, what do I think? I'm starting to get really familiar now with Nomad's formula. Love their mattes. Their mattes are soft, blendable, pigmented, can't fault their mattes. Their shimmers, I'm starting to think that the shimmers in the New Zealand Stargazing are an anomaly, because I am yet to use a Nomad palette that has that same shimmer formula. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I don't know what pixie dust they threw in with that formula for the New Zealand Stargazing palette, but that is by far my favourite Nomad Cosmetics formula. I don't know if I'm wrong in thinking it's slightly different, if I'm just biased or something, because I really like that colour story, but I like this colour story too, to be fair. But there is just something about that New Zealand Stargazing formula that is almost otherworldly. The shimmers in there are creamy and opaque and beautiful. I just can't fault it. Not to say that there's anything wrong with these shimmers. These are still really good shimmers, and I think I probably prefer them even to the shimmers in Wild Atlantic Way. So I'm kind of still working out Nomad shimmers. So I still like these, but New Zealand Stargazing is hands down, in my opinion, the best Nomad formula out there. So yeah. This is still, I mean, this is Christmas in a palette, isn't it? The only thing I think that is missing from here is the festive greens. That would be the only thing. And that was the thing that threw me, I think, when I saw the palette revealed, that it was missing the green spectrum of Christmas. This has definitely leaned more into the snowy Santa side of the sort of Christmas colour story, and I can fully get on board with that. I love blue shadows, and I love a bit of bling that you've got in the shimmers in here. Colour story wise, is it my favourite Nomad palette? No, that's New Zealand Stargazing. We've established that. However, it's still a very cohesive, festive, on theme colour story, so I've got to give it that. The standout shades for me, probably, I'm leaning towards Polar Express and Mr. C. I mean, is it obvious to go for Polar Express, like the single multi-chrome that's in there? I don't really care. That's what I'm thinking. And I also, Silver Bell is also pretty stunning as well, to be fair. Now, do people ever pick the mattes as their standout shades? I don't know. But yeah, I can't fault it, really. I've enjoyed that. And as I said, as I was applying them, I did go straight in with a NYX glitter primer, only because I'm starting to learn that this shimmer formula, so the shimmer formula in here and the shimmer formula that's in Wild Atlantic Way, at the very least, perform better with a NYX glitter primer underneath. New Zealand Stargazing doesn't need one, but the other formulas, I'm noticing that they just need that bit of a helping hand. As I said, some of these I don't think you would need that. Just going in with a finger or a wet brush would be sufficient. But if you just want to give it that oomph, then yeah, go in with your glitter primer first. Have I got anything else to say about Polar Express? I don't think so. But yeah, I've quite enjoyed that. I really wanted to do a festive look. I've just been feeling a bit meh. I've been filming through the mehness because it's been helping, to be honest. I've been a bit of a hermit, mainly because I'm ill. I don't want to inflict this on anybody else. And it's cold and horrible outside, and I don't want to leave the house. So I've been very, very reclusive. So YouTube has kind of kept me sane, to be honest. But I'm on the mend. It might not sound like it, but I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there. I hope you found that useful and or enjoyable. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch, and hopefully I'll see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave. Take care. Bye.